the whole entire business model of design and construction is kind of broken. And it's broken in two ways. One is the actual physical, or I shouldn't say physical, but the construct of the contracts, which is a pyramid, general contractor on top, sub, supplier, all that stuff. And then also that it's analog. It's an analog industry. It's a set of drawings. There's estimates. There's a lot of manual things that happen. And eventually then we get into delivery of the project, and there's lots of changes and there's added costs, and ultimately the owner pays. The more money we spend in pre-construction, or the more effort that we put into pre-construction, the less changes we're going to have on the back end in course of construction, and ultimately total cost of ownership for an owner. Yet it's been a race to the bottom for the architecture and engineering community to just pump out these, really incomplete set of drawings and whatever at the lowest point possible, or the lowest cost point possible. And so we kind of looked at that and we said, well, let's quantify what that could be. And we believe that the extra cost of not doing the work at the beginning is about 50% of the project. And you think about that and you go, no way, man. Well, I said maybe it's not that for a treehouse. Maybe it's not that for a single family residential. But when you're talking about building a large 100 unit, 150 unit multifamily, or you're talking about an energy project that's in the billions, details matter. So you need to spend that time up at the beginning. So we have discovered that if we create a building information model, and it is built to a specific ASTM spec, so it's not something that we're dreaming up ourselves, that creates the opportunity for us to be able to read that data and deliver quantities and specifications and all these things. So armed with that data, then everything else can be process automated after that with complete data integrity. So I look at something like Procore. Procore's got a fantastic suite of tools, and they've built this whole platform that everybody integrates into. But how does the data get into Procore to be able to do all those things? It's manual entry, it's estimates, and all these things. So it's a garbage in, garbage out kind of scenario. And like, this is not a knock on Procore. They do a wonderful suite of stuff, but how are we getting the information into it to be able to do all the automation that they create, all those fantastic graphs and projections and checks and balances. So we set out to fix that piece. How do we get accurate data from doing the stuff we should be doing at the beginning of a project anyways?
So I know that in Tekla Structures, there are user-defined attributes.
Yep.
That you could sit and fill out all of the dialog boxes forever. You could sit and just populate information. That could come from one specific would be like loads, end loads on beams. I could enter an end load on every single member in the project. But one would ask, like, why would I have to? Like, why should I have to enter end loads on a structural member when that pre-existed in some analytical model that somebody had before I ever touched it? And so the thought has always been in my mind, if we could at inception start to plan in that direction to begin with, so that information purposefully flows downstream to the people that need it. so that there's no reentry, I buy the 50% number when it comes to waste. I do. Now, we've had pushback from an old friend, Nick.
Yep.
Nick Burnt came on and he's like, I have tried to spend more money on the front end of construction, but it's very difficult to corral the designers to do it and to make them finish. And so it is an interesting prospect when you're looking at information. Your tact, if I understand this right, is start at the very, very beginning with the plan that we're going to amass information at the front. And then that information will pass downstream. Absolutely no questions asked. I mean, we can't even get design models half of the time. So this is a little bit mind-blowing to me.